Welcome to the First Call Plus. We're previewing some of the undercard from our two meetings here in New Zealand this week, starting with our meeting coming in from Wellington. We're at Trentham on a dead six track at this stage Friday afternoon. The El Cheapo Cars Premier is race number 3 over 1,200 metres, $6.50 for Tien Lai. Has the OP Boston factor there tomorrow. Barabbas $7.50 for the Pitman team. Okoye. What did you make of Okoye's last start effort, Jason?
I think the fact that she got back in the run didn't help her, and she was positionally disadvantaged how it played out. She's not got a great draw, I don't think. Race number 3, I guess you'll see a couple of races to know where the best part of the track is, but look, there's not much between her and straight sets, and the bookies haven't got much between them either at $11 and $7.50. Straight sets has the advantage by being drawn the 3.
Speed map here, Aidan. Where did you see the pace coming from?
Yeah, pretty much Jason said it, because I agree with him there. Straight set's likely to press forward where you've got Okoye from a wideish gate. She's been really good in those last couple, as Jason said too, but she's got a little bit wider. Rose Imperium getting back with the likes of Sacred Desire. I expect Story Time to be the main pace in the race. The blinkers do come off that horse, but she's tended to go at best races when she's been ridden positively.
Rock My Soul's a horse who's at double figures here, Jason Tarn. We'll take you back to its run at Otaki when finishing it into second. Tell you what comes out of this race also. Is it an over the price?
I think it's a reaction to the fact that he was pretty poor when he lined up at Te Rapa, but jarred up that day, did have an excuse. I just note that Tell You What has come out of the race.
Yeah.
So, but this is a really good performance behind Scandalo. Is going to get one of the soft runs into the race, Rock My Soul, and spoke with Emily Holmes, and she has suggested that he's got over his Te Rapa run okay, so he presents well, has had a jump out.
There was just no chance in that race. It was just a sprint. Ferrando dominated from the front. That was the second up run after a long day off, I think March 2016 into December the 1st the following year. So it's won 4 of 12, one in Victoria. I thought really hard to beat in this from the ace, Rock My Soul. But I didn't mind Story Time's running. They had to do a lot of work in running, and just once again, just to ignore Tell You What, who has come out of this race. Tien Lai was pretty good, straight sets, obviously a decent form line around other runners in this race. He
missed that run at Thames the other day, which obviously wouldn't help.
Yeah, but he's a horse who's done enough racing. You know, there's already 3 runs in the form line from December, so not too much, but yeah, Tien Lai just hit the line really nicely that day. Beat home straight sets, and like you say, OP Boston doing the right.
He's going to be pretty well presented into the race, Tien Lai. Like 3 and 4 preparations ago, he was winning 3rd and 4th up respectively. So he's had a couple of runs under his belt. I think he's going to be ready to run as good a race as he can at this stage of his career. And he is 7. But I think that race there showed that he's still got wins in him.
And he's got form at Trentham as well. As won twice there before.
Here's Rose Imperial finishing 4th last start, and another one with a chance in what's a very even lot here, Aidan.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad run. The 3 runs back from her have all been good. She just hasn't taken the next step up, but she does attack the line pretty well this day. You can see it down there on the inside, and yeah, ends up into 4th spot. That was in behind Princess Kiru. It goes around Dallas this weekend as well, so that form should hold up okay.
And some South Island form here too, Jason, with Barabbas and Sacred Desire. Sacred Desire gets in on 54.5 kilos with Terry Ray and Alicia Collett combining. Barabbas very good here though.
Excellent, Barabbas, and he has been pretty good at certain times throughout this preparation. Jason Waddell did the job for us on Barabbas going back to October, so he's back aboard. That's a positive. That's a positive jockey upgrade without doubt, even though Parves gets it done here.
Interesting that race, because at no time did Sacred Desire have any room, and I thought the run was probably superior to Barabbas. The run there just comes in a couple 2.5 kilograms better as well, Sacred Desire. So yeah, on that, and with a barrier draw of 2, meaning that she should get the suck run along, it has to be in contention for sure.
And Terry Ray's go-to jockey, ABC Rides, Alicia Collett, built up a very strong relationship with the race stable in the South Island and getting the rides in the north.
Yep, Terry Ray's been up to Trentham on a few occasions and did win a Group 3 Thompson handicap a few years ago, back in 2011. So she's had feature race success at Trentham as well.
What horse was that? I'm trying to think of it.
Hold It Harvey.
There we go, Hold It Harvey.
Oh, he's a good horse.
How good was he?
Yeah, well, he went
Jamie
on.
Bullard?
Yeah, he was all over the shop, winning good races. Won next time up at Awapuni, went on to Te Rapa and was good. He raced well everywhere. I think he won a white robe and was Group 1 placed as well.
Okay, race number 9 is our next race we're previewing from Trentham. This will be the last on the card. It is the Pete's Joinery Precise Design and Build Premier King's Cross, $4.80. So good first up, Jason.
Excellent King's Cross, and still ran well second up as well, behind Living on a Prayer, who was quite brilliant in the Dunstan Feeds 1500. The Rising Stars, I think they call it. Look, Eagle Bay at $7.50 was ridden differently at Awapuni compared to Trentham when he won fresh. Still, the run had a lot of merit, and then Aiden, Legramore.
Oh, I'm loving this race. This is one of the races of the day for me at Trentham, and they do tend to leave these good ones to last because they're going to be massive turnover races. Eagle Bay, Bevan Sweeney, when we spoke to him earlier on the first call, was very keen about this horse's chances, and why not? The form's been outstanding. King's Cross has been terrific in 2 runs back, but Legramore just attacked the line beautifully at Te Rapa last time out, and I'm thinking that she's going to be awfully hard to beat. There's enough pressure, I thought here, Jason, just to say that she could make the ground necessary from the back. Eagle Bay likely to press forward, Sleek Secret, and maybe just Lady Guinness coming across to the cross. Eva Jensine, at this stage on Friday morning, no jockey declared, so we don't know whether that horse will be a starter or not. And Handful's been pretty handy. Tricky little barrier draw, might have to add a little bit of pace into the race. How did you see the speed here?
Well, if I was going to back Legramore, I'd love Leith to be where the Ripper is mapped. I'd love it to be a pair closer and in the running line. Certainly if I was getting really keen on backing her, I wouldn't want to see a 5 back the inside. So if he was to position her there, I think that would be a great spot to be. Yeah, Eagle Bay and the tactics of Rosie Myers and her intent will go some way to dictating the race, because she controlled things when Eagle Bay won so well fresh. She controlled that race off the front, and he was excellent.
Yeah, exactly. And we know like Bevan's a bit of a fan of Rosie's riding, and so the win at Trentham, very good 2 starts back. The run at Awapuni showed that this horse was making the way forward, and I think a really big chance in the race.
Let's have a look at King's Cross, taking you back to its second behind Living on a Prayer last start. We talked about it being so good last time to the races, but King's Cross here, just since it's come back to New Zealand, it's done a super job, Jason.
And steps up. This was 1,200 metres. Sorry, this was the second over the 1,500 metres. The win was over 1,200 metres. So this said the ground would be good, or the increase in distance would be good. Really savaged the line behind, I think, one of the standout progressive horses in Living on a Prayer in the north part of the North Island, or Matamata specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Had trialled up really well before that first up win at Ellerslie, then stepped up into a really strong race last time out, that Dunstan Feeds Rising Stars final, and we see horses in there like Brighton, who goes around at Ellerslie on Sunday as well, running a really good race. But King's Cross, progressive, comes up as a worthy favourite from Barrier 4, and certainly one of the main contenders in a really good race.
Let's have a look at Handful next, winning last start. Gee, it built to this, Aidan. A string of seconds, and Shane Brown was finally rewarded with another win, and on this occasion ridden by Dylan Turner, and he picks up the ride again.
Yeah, exactly. That win beat home Eagle Bay, so there's a strong form line there. There's Eagle Bay just coming down centre track in the blinkers and hitting the line really well. But I think probably on this I'd rather be on Eagle Bay, especially now Handful's been sort of given barrier 14, which won't make it easy, Jason.
You can see on this head-on vision Eagle Bay in the blue and orange, and there is clear. That's about 200 metres from home. You'd say if he was clear 75 metres before then, he would have won the race.
Yeah.
It was a huge run from him. He's definitely the horse you want to be taking out of that.
Handful's obviously a horse with a lot of promise, and seems to be racing really solidly as well. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, Chase.
And we saw running home into 50 of the Ripper also. Here's Legramore beaten by a pretty smart one here, Aidan.
Yeah, exactly. This is Nicoletta, who goes around as one of the favourites in the anniversary at Group 3 level. Only the race before, and here's a horse who's actually paying more in rating 75 company. How can that be? Legramore, look at her, just absolutely attacked the line after getting just too far back, had to clear traffic on the bend, but takes, what, a good 3, 4, 5 lengths off Nicoletta here, and on that performance looks awfully hard to beat. She's a good one.
It's a definite sectional standout. Look, do you sense that she can take a spot handier than what she did at Te Rapa? Because it sort of looked like after a couple of hundred metres, maybe she could have settled a pair or two closer on the rail.
Yeah, definitely. There was a chance she'd sort of drawn wide. If she'd been able to slot in, she could well have even got the trail on that occasion, but the horse who had missed the start, I think it was Prince Mambo, kicked up on the inside and denied her that opportunity. In the end, this is a race where, what have we got, 13, 14 runners, whereas that was an 8-horse race. Certainly more pressure in this race, and being the last of the program at Trentham, there's a fair bit riding on it. I think she'll get the pressures that she needs, and I think she'll be winning.
Is that your suggested play?
It's definitely, she's my bet of the day, and yep, I'm prepared to put my bank money on it, 20 over 30 on Legramore.
Jason?
I'm reluctant to go against Aidan's bet of the day, but I do like Eagle Bay also. So, not a bad price, Eagle Bay.
Exactly, and like I have played a treble as part of the first call there, and I'll be happy enough if Eagle Bay comes home in that third leg of I'm still
Happiest with Legramore.
Let's turn our attention to Ellerslie on Sunday and take a look at one of the sprinting features with the fast track bonus into this race also. It's the Monster Vision race 6, 13 minutes to 4. And the market is out with 480 around Joyanna, who will go from barrier 1 for Mark Blackie and Mark Duplessis. A very good winner 2 starts ago, beating home Selfie. 520 for Jar Jar Binks, of course. Has got a very good record around Ellerslie over the 1200 metres, and we're up to horses like Julius and Amarula. Your reaction to this market here, Jason?
Really hard one to frame if you're a bookmaker, because a horse like Julius, has got potential, but hasn't done it to a level above rating 75. And even though it's getting weight and is progressive, Amarula, Irish Moon, the hardened gallopers that have done some good things, and Brilliant Shine comes in just below the minimum of 58 in a fresh state. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a cheeky race. How about the map?
I've got Joanna likely to go forward again. She's been terrific on speed. Amarula, another pace influence in the race. Julius, I think maps really kindly just to settle in the trail. Then you've got Irish Moon. Will they attempt to take a sit, or will they be positive? Joanna and Amarula will certainly make sure it's a genuinely run race. So it could just mean that Irish Moon has a bit of work if they do want to go forward. Elusive Treasure I've got pushing forward there, and the likes of the old Floozy and Jar Jar Binks getting back.
Yeah, where Irish Moon settles will certainly dictate the overall pressure in the race. Like the times that Coleman has been on recently, hasn't found the lead, but in previous preparations he has been very aggressive on him. Not sure about Julius that Jake Bayliss will want to settle on the rail. I get the feeling that he's the type of horse that races better in the running line and therefore in space.
The rail might not be a bad thing, because with the rail out 9 metres at Ellerslie, it can be a race where it's hard to make ground by swooping wide. If he can be on the leader's back, turning for home, and then try and pick his gap, that might be advantageous.
What about a horse like Brilliant Shine, fresh up? How do you kind of slot it into the mix?
I think he comes into it really well on what he's done. 1,200 metres, I've sort of thought that 1,400 metres is probably his best go, even though he was placing over a mile a couple of starts before he was spelled. I think on top of the ground, in a fresh state, yeah, he's certainly a chance.
Your suggested play here?
I want to be backing Julius. I just really like him as a sprinter. He had a false start last time. He got scratched around the barrier, maybe controversially, given the type of horse that he is, but he would have derived a bit of benefit from the trip away, as Aidan mentioned on the first call proper earlier on. But yeah, he's a horse that I really like. He's had a few issues, but he's a talent.
Aidan, your suggested play?
I'm a big fan of Jar Jar Binks. I'm sure she would have improved on that run behind Joanna last time out. So on an each-way basis, I think she's certainly a contender in the race.
There's a good line between the two of them. They met in March of last year. Or was that on Derby Day?
Yeah.
And Jar Jar Binks got the better of Julius by a small margin, really flashed at him. But I think he gave her 5 kilo that day. So there's no kilos between them on Sunday.
But she has had a run under her belt.
Yes.
There we go. Good bit of banter there. A really good race on the card featuring Ever Loyal down last time to the races by Age of Fire. Jason Waddell to do the riding for Tony Pike. And look, clearly the class horse of the field here at $1.85. Mongolian Conqueror, $5, $6.20 for the Boy Wonder, and Xbox $6.20. Is it as easy as him lining up and winning here, Aidan?
Oh, I'm not so sure, but he was a horse who you saw just peak on his run last time out, and behind Age of Fire, who goes round as a favourite in the Group 1 at Trentham this weekend. They've gone for the easier option, and I'm sure he's going to be sharper for that run. He's going to map well, as we see, and at 185, it's hard to see him sort of beaten here. Xbox has been really good. The Boy Wonder and Mongolian Conqueror all bring good form as well. But as you can see here, the map suits him. I've got Dash Pure just pushing forward to the front, and I think Jason Waddell will be quite happy sitting on that horse's outside and dictating the tempo from there, Jason.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. He might even choose to lead, but either way, I'd be shocked if he's not either leading or sitting outside of the leader, Jason Waddell. To me, Ever Loyal rates 2 lengths clear of what anything else has done in the race, even though he has to carry joint top weight with Mongolian Conqueror. He comes into it very, very well. This is just the type of form that says he should be winning the race.
Yes.
Like, I think even mark him at a $1.65 quote, and you look at that and you go, well, how can you be marking even shorter than $1.85? But 2 and 3 starts ago, when he was racing down at Riccarton, he drew wide barriers. He was aggressively ridden to sit on speed, and he won and also placed. So even though it's a small field and he has got a wide draw, he may have to do a little bit of work. I think he's the type of horse with an aggressive Jason Waddell ride with intent, that he can find that spot that you mapped him and control things. Basically,
There was 7 weeks between runs from the 2,000 guineas into this race, and he's still been able to beat home horses the quality of Embellish and Builder. You think he's going to take real benefit from that race, and if you've got him 2 lengths in front of the field at 180, you'd be quite happy playing him there?
Yes. Look, he's a click away from being at fever pitch.
Yep.
Because he's targeting the Karaka 3-year-old classic $1 million race. Yep. So, he is going to be nearly as good as he can. Tony Pike will leave a little bit in there, in the tank, but he should be winning.
Here's Mongolian Conqueror winning at New Plymouth. Clearly not the class of horse that Ever Loyal's been up against, but if you're playing multiples, is he the horse to run second in here, Jason?
He is. He's still learning. You can see by sort of that, you think at the 250 metre point that he might put a length or 2 on them. He's still a little bit unsure, but he's got a bit about him that says that he's going to be winning a decent race in time, and maybe it's a derby type race. He's just, to me, going to have to give too much of a start to Ever Loyal, and I don't know that at the 300, if he's 3 lengths off Ever Loyal, that he'll be running.
No, on this run, he's going to have taken a lot of improvement to be testing Ever Loyal.
How would you play it, Aidan?
Ever Loyal at 180 is obviously a very attractive price, and either you play him for a win or you move around those key dangers, which are Xbox, the Boy Wonder, and perhaps Mongolian Conqueror in multiples.
Yeah, I didn't mind Dash Pur as a horse on the way up as well. Thought there was an okay run behind How About That. So Dash Pur, he's a horse that potentially could surprise a little bit. He hasn't been so much in those races that the traditional 3-year-old path.
And he maps a whole lot better in this too.
He does. He maps very well. So he could be that horse that injects that different form line that could show himself to be pretty close to a horse like Ever Loyal, but Ever Loyal to win for me.
Jason Tarn, Aidan Rodley, thanks for your time here on the First Call Plus. We'll rejoin you next week for the First Call live at 11 o'clock on Friday.